Can you be a good person without believing in God? Let's think about it. Well, has there ever been a single atheist who did something good in the world or something to help someone else? The answer, of course, is yes. So you can be good, meaning doing good things, even if you don't believe in God. But the real question is a bit different. Can you be good if there is no God at all? Well, isn't that the very same question? No, it's actually a very different question. You see, here's the tricky part. If there's no God, then how do we decide what's really good or bad? If God doesn't exist, then there aren't any clear universal rules about right or wrong. Without God, there's nothing absolute that tells us how to act. It's like not having a rule book to play a certain game. Look, if there's no rule book, can you really be expected to play a game by the rules? Imagine you and your friends can't agree on the rules of a game. Without rules, everyone just does what they think is best. But no one's idea is more right than anyone else's. Can you picture that? That's what it's like if there's no God. Everyone has their own opinion about what's good or bad, but there's no way to say who's right. It's like everyone liking different flavors of ice cream. Just because you like strawberry doesn't mean everyone should. In a world without God, there's no way to say for sure that something is good or evil. Everything just is as it is without any meaning behind it. But if God exists, then God's nature and commands give us a clear guide to do what's good. For instance, God teaches us to love others, which helps us see why being kind and fair is good, and why being selfish or mean is bad. The idea here is pretty straightforward. God decides what is good based on the fact that He is good Himself. Think of it like this. If a band sounds just like their live show when you listen to their recorded music, that's a great recording. Similarly, the closer what we do is to how God would do things, the better it is. But if someone believes that there is no God, which is what atheism is about, then they don't have a perfect standard for deciding what's right and wrong. Who would tell us how to act if there's no God? Well, nobody. For people who don't believe in God, humans are just a part of nature, like animals that evolved. And animals don't really think about right or wrong. A cat isn't doing something bad when it catches a mouse. It's just being a cat. If there's no God, some might say we should see human actions the same way, that nothing is really right or wrong. But here's the catch. Things like fairness, goodness, and justice do seem very real to us. Every time you feel something is unfair or wrong, like someone being mean or cheating, or if someone came and just stole your wallet, you're really saying you believe there's a right way to act. Without God, we wouldn't have a solid basis for all these feelings about right and wrong that seem to apply to everyone, everywhere. So what does this all mean? Well, there's something called objective morality and objective moral values. Objective morality means there is a standard outside of us which exists for what is good and what is bad. An example might be rape or torturing infants for fun. To say that objective morality exists is to say that these sort of things are wrong, regardless of our culture and regardless of our laws. This says that there are things that are right and things that are wrong, again, like rape or torturing babies for fun. these things would be considered wrong regardless of our culture or where we come from or how we grew up or our personal opinions. Does this objective morality, this right and wrong, actually exist? What do you think? If they are truly wrong, if they are wrong outside of just our opinions or what our society says is wrong, if they are wrong outside of what our laws say, then you would be saying that there is a standard of right and wrong which exists outside of us. And you would also be saying that that standard of right and wrong outside of us actually exists. And if you are saying that, then the question is, who set that standard up? And this question points to the existence of God. This is critically important to understand. So what I am saying is, if objective moral values and objective morality actually exist, that proves that God, who put that there, actually exists. So if there is even one thing that is objectively wrong, that proves that God exists. So that would mean that objective moral values do exist. Now for the moral argument. It is a three-part argument and goes like this. First part, if God does not exist, then objective moral values and duties, doing things you ought to do not exist. Second part, objective moral values do exist. And the third part, therefore, God exists. So again, if there is even one thing that is objectively wrong, no matter what culture you were raised in, or no matter who you are, if those things are actually objectively wrong, if anything can be considered objectively wrong, that proves that God exists. Well, someone might give a counter argument and say that society is the one that dictates something being right or wrong. But some societies love their neighbors and some societies eat their neighbors. Are they both just as right? Did Hitler do anything wrong during the Holocaust? Not if there's no God. Again, if there's no God, then who says that what Hitler did was wrong? An honest atheist cannot say anything is objectively right or wrong, because according to an atheist's worldview, there is no single thing that can be considered actually objectively wrong. Apart from the existence of God, it is more so just a preference. It's like, I prefer not torturing babies for fun. But according to an atheist framework, the one who tortures is no more wrong than the person who helps people their whole lives. According to an honest atheist, there is no difference between Mother Teresa and Adolf Hitler. Again, if someone says something is actually morally and objectively wrong, they are also telling you, voluntarily or not, that they believe a God exists.
Hey guys, these videos take hours and hours to make. Boost my energy up by buying me a coffee in the description section of this video. Thanks so much.
And if you want to make educational videos like this, check out the Pictory link below in the description section. We'll see you in that video over there.